Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. I've always opined on this platform on many occasions that in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. Earlier today in Parliament, Ichung'wah, the majority leader, and Junet Mohammed, the minority leader in the National Assembly, attacked Ndindi Nyoro ruthlessly. I want you guys to take this to any nearest bank. There is no way Ichung'wah and Junet Mohammed can attack Ndindi Nyoro with the direct permission from William Samoei Arap Ruto. But what was the objectives of the attacks on Ndindi Nyoro? Because you all know that Ndindi Nyoro was removed as the chair of the budget committee the other day. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I want to reveal to you guys. Why William Ruto ordered Ichung'wah and Junet Mohammed to deal with Ndindi Nyoro ruthlessly today in Parliament. First of all, let us watch Junet Mohammed attacking Ndindi Nyoro.
In conclusion, I saw, I don't want to mention names, an old man who has started a polytechnic which has 10,000 people. And he talked about his polytechnic very passionately. And he said he's requesting the executive to give resources to that polytechnic. And the polytechnic has 10,000 students. Mr. Speaker, in their wisdom of lack of it, through the chair of the committee and the committee, gave that polytechnic in Bungoma 25 million shillings and gave another one in another place 250 million, which has only 2,000 students. Was it 10 million? Yeah. They gave only 10 million there, and the other one they gave 250 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. We are going to name them. Mr. Speaker, we will not allow, because this is the house that takes care of the interest of the people, of what is concerned to the people, is discussed here, Mr. Speaker. And this matter of skewed distribution of resources, Mr. Speaker, look at what's happening in the road sector, Mr. Speaker. It's shameful. In the road sector, Mr. Speaker, there are counties that have not seen any cent to tarmac any road, Mr. Speaker. And there are counties that have been having money every year, every month to tarmac certain roads. In fact, very soon, if we continue like this in the next 5 years, there are counties that will donate tarmac roads to others. They will say, take this tarmac and put it somewhere in your county. You can return it back after 2 years. Just use it for 2 years. Because they don't know where to put it actually. Mr. Speaker, I support the majority leader. This country can only prosper. This country can only go far if, as the representatives of the people, we become equitable in sharing our resources, Mr. Speaker. And that is why the Constitution gave us a mandate to look. Otherwise, the Treasury should bring a budget here and we just approve it as they have done.
Now, let us pay very close attention to what Ichung'wah is saying about Ndindi Nyoro.
We have now reconstituted a new budget and appropriations committee. Let me be on record, it will not be business as usual. This House will not sit back and allow members who sit in the Budget and Appropriations Committee to use the position they hold in that committee to appropriate money to only their constituencies at the expense of other Kenyans. Because all these 349 members come here to represent people. They come here to seek and lobby for resources to go back to their people. That is why the people of Vihiga are crying today. It is sad that you would find in a county that was to benefit from public participation, a national polytechnic in a county that was slated to benefit for public participation, getting a meager 10 million shillings, whereas in another county where a member in the Budget and Appropriations Committee sits in, a national polytechnic gets 250 million shillings. It is immoral. It is unethical and very unprofessional of us who sit in those committees. And I say it will not be business as usual because we have agreed as the House leadership, both in the majority and the minority party, that those who get the opportunity to sit in whichever committee you sit in that committee to ensure that there is equitable allocation and share of resources across the country. And we will make sure that that happens. I therefore wanted to urge the Honorable Omboko and the other members who are affected. I will engage with the National Treasury to ensure that those counties do not lose on account of the actions of the former Committee of Budget and Appropriations, so that within the next financial year, because they are now preparing the estimates for the next financial year, we factor in those counties that should have benefited this year and those that ought to benefit next year. But let this serve as a warning bell to the new committee. I know the committees are slated to hold their elections tomorrow. Whoever you elect in those committees, especially the Budget and Appropriations Committee, because it is one of the 18 committees whose mandate lapsed, and there are new members in that committee, an opportunity to serve in the Budget and Appropriations Committee of this House is not an opportunity to enrich yourself. It is not an opportunity to allocate resources to your constituency or your county or to those who you think are your friends above others. You must ensure, as members of that committee, there is equitable and fair distribution of resources, not just those in public participation.
Ladies and gentlemen, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Those attacks were engineered by none other than William Samoei Arap Ruto. And for those who follow this channel, after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua and the removal of Ndindi Nyoro, I posed a question on this platform. And that question was simple. Who will be William Ruto's next victim? I predicted Kimani Ichung'wah. But Kimani Ichung'wah will first of all help William Ruto removing all the other people he wants out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back a bit. This is a story I've always told you. That immediately William Ruto nominated Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate, he made up his mind on the trajectory he was going to take. After forming the government, William Ruto appointed Dr. or Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, to tame Rigathi Gachagua. He appointed Kimani Ichung'wah as the Majority Leader in the National Assembly, again to tame Rigathi Gachagua. He appointed Moses Kuria as the Cabinet Secretary for Trade to tame Rigathi Gachagua. William Ruto also made another critical appointment. He nominated Ndindi Nyoro as the chair of the Budget Committee. Most people had predicted that Ndindi Nyoro was going to be appointed as the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury. That did not happen. Strategically, William Ruto nominated Ndindi Nyoro to serve as the chair of the Budget Committee to achieve two main objectives. Number one, he wanted Ndindi Nyoro to help in budgeting, because the chair of the Budget Committee must be someone so close to the president, because that's the engine of the nation. If you want to budget for some corruption, it's normally the chair who sneaks them in. That's why Ndindi Nyoro was nominated there. The second reason why Ndindi Nyoro was nominated by Ruto was simple. William Ruto wanted Ndindi Nyoro to succeed him in 2032. And because of that, he wanted Ndindi Nyoro to be in a position where, number one, he will be viewed as someone who is development oriented. Because as the chair of the Budget Committee, you can allocate a lot of resources in your area, and people will always see those projects in the name of visible project. And William also wanted members of parliament to interact with Ndindi Nyoro. As the chair of the Budget Committee, most members of parliament always go to the chair of the Budget Committee with development projects in their area. For example, my member of parliament can go to the chair of the Budget Committee and tell him the road from Sondu all the way to Nyamaroka to Kukumu to Bodi, Tamaki. So as the chair of the Budget Committee, and if they are in good terms, he can approve that. That's how Ndindi Nyoro became very powerful. There are some members of parliament, someone like Kiborek, a close ally of Ndindi Nyoro, a first-time member of parliament, is doing massive projects in his constituency. And you'll wonder where he's getting all the money. The truth is, he goes to Ndindi with a bridge, he goes to Ndindi with a school, he goes to Ndindi, and because they are friends, Ndindi approves some of those projects. That's exactly what the role. That's exactly how powerful the budget committee is. So the fact that today he's being attacked means that there is something which William Ruto or whoever is behind those attacks wanted to achieve. But for me, number one, Ndindi Nyoro has always been projected as development-oriented leader. Since he became the chair of the budget committee, Ndindi Nyoro has always been rated as the most performing member of parliament in Kenya. Today, Junet Mohammed and Ichung'wah are telling us that there's nothing like development. This guy is just allocating funds meant for other constituencies here. And they're giving of a case, for example, Junet is giving a case of a polytechnic in Mombasa. So in Bungoma. Has 10,000 people. They made the request. At the end of the day, it was allocated 10 million Kenya shillings. But a polytechnic in Kiharu was allocated 250 million Kenyan shillings. Tell me if you will not be able to see a project worth 250 million Kenyan shillings if it's executed on the ground. So that's exactly what they're trying to tell Kenyans. And you see, Kenyans had started liking Ndindi Nyoro because of that perceived development. Now Kenyans are having a different thought. So they are out to destroy Ndindi Nyoro. Number two, I think Ndindi Nyoro is also being now projected as a tribal leader. As the chair of the budget committee, he always took everything meant for other regions to his region. Not necessarily Kiharu, but they're talking of Murang'a. You might also go further and say even Mount Kenya at the expense of other regions. The truth is, Ndindi Nyoro might be planning to run for the presidency. And he was going to be an alternative based on his brand of politics, based on his development track record, based on age was ticking. And of course now, as a national leader, Kenyans are being told this guy is a tribal leader. Number three, I'm also seeing this as an excuse being fronted to remove him as the chair of the budget committee. What Ichung'wah and Junet Mohammed did today in parliament were actually to incite other members of parliament to remove Ndindi Nyoro. Of course, personally, because I know how budget operates, I sit with some of these MCS here, members of parliament. Budgeting is a very important aspect. And the fact that some MPs feel that, they are not viewed as development oriented, because the truth is, if you have 100 million Kenya shillings and you want to buy schools as an MP, you want to build police post as an MP, there are schools there as a member of parliament, you want to do some roads, it's not possible. Some constituencies are just vast, you can't do it. But now you have a member of parliament who has done all this, put cabros, put tiles in classrooms, painted all of them, the kind of chairs, just because he's the chair of the budget committee. So MPs now want to remove him because they now want someone who will either allocate money equally or will not go to the extent of Ndindi Nyoro. Number four, I'm also looking at Mount Kenya politics. Ruto is out to punish those who are not towing the line from the mountain. Because if anything, what value, politically speaking, will William Ruto get from the mountain? The mountain is gone, and they have decided they are gone, and gone. There's nothing William Ruto can do to change that. And lastly, I'm also looking at it as a strategy to deter Ndindi Nyoro from joining Rigathi Gachagwa's camp. How? You see, when those attacks are launched, the next question which will be ringing in Ndindi Nyoro's mind is that I've been part of this government. What other scandals will these guys expose? Which other scandals? So we'll say, okay, I don't want war. Wacha nitulie. If Ndindi Nyoro is a real man, this is the moment for him to glow. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. The politics is taking shape. Let us wait and see how the things are going to unfold. Until next time, this is Lee McQueen. Bye-bye.